Good morning, fellas. Guys, I'm so sleepy this morning, but here we are, one more time, fighting for the lessons, fighting for education. Oh my goodness! Right. Anyway, I hope you're feeling great this morning. Besides the, in this case, the sleepy and the baggy eyes. And well, yesterday we were dealing with essays, right? A little bit, with the for and against essay, basically. Some technical aspects, if you get questions about the for and against essay, just use the chat box or the microphone. And today we should be dealing with metalinguistic contents, right? So the main metalinguistic contents for this unit are imperatives, future continuous. Let me show you. Reported speech, WH questions, and possessives and genitive. That's on the grammar side, right? And regarding, in this case, lexical contents, we should be discussing about newspapers and television, computers and the internet, and war and peace. I downloaded, not downloaded, I uploaded. I uploaded a couple of presentations and contents. You can see them on uCampus. I uploaded this yesterday night for you to revise later. Okay. There are 3 presentations regarding metalinguistic content, and also there are videos about war and peace, computers and the internet. Also some exercises about, in this case, grammar contents for you to practice and review. Okay. So today we should be specifically discussing about future continuous, because imperatives, I remember that we already dealt with imperatives. So let's review about future continuous tense. Regarding the use of future continuous, they are mainly used to, for example, describe interrupted actions in the future. Okay. What is an interrupted action in the future? It's an imaginary situation, and also that the description of the process of that event in the future, right? And then in that description there is another action which in this case just cuts what's going on in the future, in that imaginary scenario, right? For example, here, when you come tomorrow, they will be playing tennis, right? So we imagine people playing tennis, and then the interruption is another person coming, which in this case is intervening in the process, right? In the game, let's say. And in that case, to produce that interrupted action, we need the future continuous tense plus in this case, you can use simple present for the future, like this in this case. When you come tomorrow, when you say this, this is pretty much like a conditional, actually conditional situation, right? It's present simple here, and then plus a future continuous. Okay, it's pretty much like a mixed conditional. And another use or usage for the future continuous tense is to express actions in progress at a specific time in the future. So there's not necessarily, or there will be not necessarily an interruption in the process, in the future process. But we describe what's going to be happening at a certain time. So in that case, we need an expression of time, right? At 12 o'clock tomorrow, that's the expression of time, right? We will be having lunch at school. So we can also we can predict, in this case, what's going to happen using future continuous tense. I don't think it's pretty much a plan. I think it's more a prediction. It's more like, let's say, closer to a promise, right? But it's not specifically. It's not an arrangement, for example. It's not an arrangement. What else? To refer to actions that are happening now and are expected to continue in the future. That's another usage, okay? For example, unfortunately, sea levels will still be rising in 20 years. So situations happening right now and that you expect to continue in the future, all right? And another use is to ask questions politely about the future. For example, this is very polite, actually. Will you be bringing your friend to the party tonight? This is not so common in Spanish, for example. Like, vas a estar trayendo a tu amiga, a tu amigue a la fiesta mañana. It's very strange, and even in English. It's not very common to use this sort of structure in English, but it's still possible. What else? Another use in this case to emphasize. In this case, future plans and intentions, right? As I told you, right? He'll be coming to visit us next week. Now, the key here is to emphasize. It's not common language to talk about plans using future continuous, right? For plans, we normally use be going to, all right, be going to, or for arrangements, we use normally present continuous for near future. It's also used for arrangements, okay, together with be going to. But in this case is to put emphasis, all right? So I already used, for example, I already mentioned my plan. So what I'm doing now is emphasizing. It's not in the first instance, okay? When I use the future continuous tense, for example, he'll be coming to visit us next week. All right. So it's a reminder, right? It's a reminder. It's something that I already mentioned, and I'm putting more emphasis with this phrase. Okay. Remember, He'll be coming to visit us next week. All right. Another use, to describe atmosphere in the future. The atmosphere in this case, not physical atmosphere, it's more like abstract atmosphere, right? Emotional atmosphere. Example, when I arrive at the party, everybody will be celebrating, some will be dancing. All right. So imagining, again, the situation, predicting the situation in the future, right? Very specific. So normally, if you notice, there are expressions of time which make, in this case, a very specific, in this case, comments about the future scenario. When I arrive at the party, next week, tonight, in 20 years, at 12 o'clock, when you come tomorrow. So it's a specific event which is going to happen. I mean the time. And finally, to express parallel actions or series of parallel actions in the future. Okay. For example, she'll be watching TV and he'll be cooking dinner. Okay. At a certain time. She'll be watching TV and he'll be cooking dinner. Wow. I'm still sleepy. All right. Well, then in this case, the chart, the infogram next to this one is pretty much the same stuff. Okay. What difference is pretty much the time expressions here. We see examples. Again, next week, 5 p.m., next time, next week in the future, at this time next Friday, next year, at this time tomorrow. Okay, very specific expressions. Good. And the structure in this case, or the formula more specifically, it's for the positive form is subject plus will plus be plus, in this case, present participle, which is the same as gerund, all right? Más conocido como verb ing. Negative, subject plus will plus not, plus be plus present participle, o gerundio, que es lo mismo. And interrogative form is will plus subject plus be plus present participle. Right? You guys got any questions so far about future continuous? O también se le conoce como future progressive. Same stuff. Any questions, any comments? So far, so good. You can use the chat room if you want. All right. So let's move on. That was about the future continuous, and now let's go for a report speech. Hold on, ya imperative ya lo vimos, report speech, aquí vamos. Vamos a pasar al report speech. La Monse dice, all good, it's all good. Es una canción más antigua que yo. Veamos, it's all good. Ahora no vamos a ver lexical contents right now, así que vamos directo por grammar contents. Entonces, report speech. there are a lot of things to say about reported speech, right? Because we got direct speech and reported speech. Direct speech, we normally use a lot of direct speech in common situations, okay, everyday language. And the reported speech is mainly used in contexts like reporting the news, stories, books, novels, right? Because it depends on the narrator in this case. If you got this, in this case, third person narrator, which is normally omniscient in describing how everything happened in a story, right? So this guy is pretty much reporting the story, reporting what everybody did and said at that in that story. So we got a lot of this in the literature in this case. And also when people are gossiping, making comments, we use a lot of, or they use a lot of report speech. Okay. Now let's quickly compare direct speech versus report speech. For example, we got present simple phrase. She always wears a coat. Perfectly understandable. And then, but this is something that somebody said. She always wears a coat, for example. And then another person, third person, is reporting this. He said that she always wore a coat, right? And then we start gossiping, basically. Oye, dijo que está siempre ocupada el mismo abrigo. Sí, claro, sí, eso mismo. Now, there's something that happens here. Well, aparte del copuchento, hay una persona, ¿cierto? He, in this case, a man, making comments, and we got he said that. So this said is called a reporting verb. Yeah, and there are many different reporting verbs. Normalmente uno cuando habla de reporting speech siempre dice el said, yeah, pero hay muchos reporting verbs, not only said. He declared, he commented, etc., etc. He asked. Ya, pero para este efecto el set está bien. That is optional, ¿ok? That is optional porque casi siempre cuando hay en las oraciones, ¿cierto? Cuando hay dos sujetos como he and she, that becomes optional. Ok, entonces lo puedo sacar. Yo puedo decir, he said she always wore a coat. That's okay. Hold on. Mira, no estornudar. Ahí se fue. Ya. He said that she always wore a coat. Ahora, cuando ya estoy, en este caso, hablando de lo que ella dijo o hizo, cambio el verbo wears, que está en present simple, lo cambio a past simple. Eso es lo que se llama un backshift, o es un salto, un cambio al pasado. Esta acción de cambiar de present simple a past simple se llama backshift. ¿Ok? Existe reported speech with backshift and without backshift. ¿Ok? Normalmente nos enseñan el reported speech usando backshift. ¿Ok? Entonces, present simple to past simple, present continuous, past continuous, present perfect to past perfect, past simple to past perfect. Más atrás del past perfect no hay nada. Entonces, cuando algo se reportea que está en past perfect, se reportea en past perfect. No te voy a pegar salto más para atrás. ¿Ya? Cuando está direct speech will, pasa a would. can, could, may, might, must, had to, have to, had to. Y así. Pero es que, como les digo, esta acción de cambiar de tense se llama backshift, pero existe también el report speech without backshift, o sea, no, que no se usa el backshift, ¿ya? Pero normalmente es cuando la acción está en progreso, bueno, está presente, estamos hablando. Entonces yo podría decir, he says, o he is saying, that she always wears a coat. He says that she always wears a coat. Él dice que ella siempre usa abrigo. Entonces, es algo que está más cercano en el tiempo. ¿Ok? Puede estar en progreso o puede ser algo que es más o menos una frase permanente. ¿Sí? He says that she always wears a coat. ¿Ok? Como si él dice que siempre, él dice que siempre ella usa abrigo. O el mismo abrigo, o ese abrigo. Ya, entonces, pero son situaciones, como digo, va a depender del contexto, depender digamos, de la situación. Ya, pero existe en el report speech without backshift. All right. Estamos menos pasaditos de la hora, pero díganme, no sé si tienen otra clase ahora, porque igual no, si pueden, voy a seguir explicando esta cuestión, ¿ya? Pero si no pueden, porque ahora tienen otra clase, díganme el tiro para parar. Lo dejamos grabado hasta aquí nomás. Ya, pero si no tienen nada que hacer, si pueden, me quiero pasar un poquito para terminar de explicar esto. ¿Ok? Bueno, sorry. Mi culpa, digamos, me costó un chingo levantarme hoy día. Bueno, ayer tuve muchas cosas que hacer. Dice lo que yo tengo otra clase. Vale. Ya, me imagino, Anaís, que a las 9:45, ¿cierto? 9:45. Quizá tiene otra clase. Eso, ya. Si me lo permiten, me voy a pasar unos 5 minutitos y antes de las 9:45 terminamos, ¿ok? Vale, vale, nice, gracias. Entonces, so far so good. Entonces, preguntas sobre el tema de backshift, ¿cierto? Pasar del direct speech al report speech. Any questions? Vale, Monse, vale. Ya. Entonces, esto es lo mismo. Ya. Todo lo que vimos antes tiene que ver con frases que son positivas, afirmativas, ¿cierto? Pasar de, por ejemplo, de I'm looking for my keys, she said that she was looking for her keys, she has written 3 letters for her friend, he said that she had written 3 letters for her friend. Son todas frases positivas, ¿cierto? La negación es básicamente la misma cuestión. Ya, igual a veces se complica, porque, por ejemplo, si yo dijera, she doesn't wear a coat. She doesn't wear a coat. Si pasa past simple, tengo que decir, he said that she didn't wear a coat. Entonces ahí, ojo piojo con la, digamos, con los auxiliares. ¿Ya? Con los auxiliares. I'm not looking for my keys. She said that she was not looking for her keys. ¿Ya? Entonces, tener cuidado, ¿cierto? De los auxiliares acá. She hasn't written 3 letters for her friend. En past perfect sería, he said that she hadn't written 3 letters for her friend. ¿Ok? Así que ahí hay que, digamos, practicar harto para no equivocarse en el backshift, ¿ya? Dice past simple, my friend didn't give me a bar of chocolate. Didn't give me a bar of chocolate. Y aquí pasaría como, he said his friend hadn't given him a bar of chocolate. Wouldn't, couldn't, mightn't, didn't have to. Didn't have to again here. All right. Entonces, en este caso, y para ir cerrando, ¿cierto? Ya nos queda poquito. El report speech con preguntas. Tenemos WH questions y tenemos yes, no questions. All right. Dice had not or does not works too. Me imagino que es en la espérate. Lo que pasa es que acá abajo, ya, diría en la negativa, por ejemplo, ya I may not invite them to dinner. Puede que no los invite a la cena, dice. Entonces, she said that she might not. Aquí en este caso, ¿cierto? Pasa de may a might. She might not invite them. Ahora, acá en had to, she said that she hadn't to go, no existe. Yo no puedo decir, por ejemplo, she said that she hadn't to go. Debería ser she didn't have to go to the bank. Ya, el tema es que hay un problema que sucede con didn't have to. Ya, cambia el sentido. Es bueno, una joda del inglés, pero tremenda, porque she had to go es impositivo, o sea, ella tenía que ir, ¿cierto? No hay un factor externo que la está obligando a ir. She had to go to the bank. Tenía que ir. Pero si yo digo she didn't have to go, cuando yo uso cuando uso el didn't have to, la interpretación es que no es necesario. Entonces, se aleja un chingo de tener que ir porque la wea es obligatoria a she didn't have to, que no es necesario. O sea, y tú ves que en cualquier libro de gramática dice she didn't have to, no es necesario que vaya. Entonces le cambia todo el sentido. ¿Ya? Entonces hay mucho cuidado con la interpretación, ¿ya? Porque no hay otra manera, gramaticalmente, no hay otra manera de decirlo. O sea, she said that she didn't have to go to the bank. No puedo decir she hadn't gone to the bank, es imposible, o sea, no tiene ni que decir eso. Entonces, ahí sí se va complicando, ¿ya? Dale 11.
No, o sea, pucha, es que o sea, sí se entiende, pero lo que yo me refería es como que, porque obvio todo es como doesn't, pero obvio también está como la opción obviamente del does not. Entonces,
Como
a
la
eso me
forma
refería,
sí,
claro.
no, entonces yo me fui por otro lado. Sí, sí, no hay problema con el does not. Sí.
Sí, porque hay veces en que cuando uno escribe formal, que el doesn't suena como casi horrible, es como un improperio, entonces
Sí,
tiene que ser
sí.
does not.
Sí, correcto. Had not y does not full form cuando hay más formalidad. Sí, perfecto. No hay un problema, Monse.
Ya,
You're
gracias.
right. No problem. Ok. ¿Queréis? Uf, no nos queda nada. Ya, entonces para ir cerrando, cuando hago report speech, ¿cierto? Con yes, no questions y cuando hago report speech con WH questions. Acá, de una pregunta así común y corriente, do you want some more cake? ¿Cierto? La reporteo y digo, she asked him. Recuerden que aquí los sujetos pueden ser, y los sujetos y los objetos pueden ser cualquiera, o sea, cualquiera de la lista, ¿cierto? She asked, y nombres propios también. Es como Juanita asked Pedrito, perfectamente posible. She asked him, ¿cierto? If he wanted some more cake. Entonces aquí estamos haciendo el backshift desde el simple present a el past simple, ¿ya? She asked him if he wanted some more cake. Entonces estoy reporteando y la pregunta ya no es pregunta, básicamente, ¿cierto? Sacamos el auxiliar, sacamos el signo de pregunta y le ponemos el orden, el word order de una frase afirmativa. ¿Ya? O puede ser negación también, o sea, depende si la pregunta hay preguntas negativas, entonces también puede ser. Entonces, if he wanted, entonces tomamos el verbo, ¿cierto? Y lo ponemos en pasado. El verbo wanted some more cake. Acá, are you coming to the cinema with me? ¿Cierto? Pregunta en present continuous. Pasa a reportearse en este caso con un backshift. Dice, he asked if, o puede ser he asked whether she was going to the cinema with him. Entonces pasamos de present continuous a past continuous, ¿ya? Deja de ser pregunta, recuerden. Y le ponemos el orden correspondiente a positive phrase. En el caso de WH questions, tenemos cierto palabras pregunta where, how often. Sacamos los auxiliares, pum, chao. Ponemos los verbos principales que go and play en pasado, ¿cierto? Y hacemos el correspondiente backshift de past simple, pasamos a past perfect. Y de present simple pasamos a past simple. She asked me where he had gone on holiday. Entonces el where aquí pasa a ser como una, en este caso, relative, es un relative adverb in this case, ¿cierto? Se pone al medio. She asked me where he had gone on holiday. Y esta, he asked me how often I played hockey. Entonces el where y el how often se ponen al medio y pasan a ser en posición de relative adverb y relative pronoun, ¿ya? Eso, en todo caso, aquí en esta misma presentación que subí, hay links para que practiquen, ¿cierto? Y para que hagan su trabajo autónomo y en el UCampus también. Si quieren practicar, aquí tenemos Report Speech Exercises. Te le hacen clic en Visit y hay una lista gigantosa de prácticas, ¿cierto? Aquí Report Speech Present, Past, Questions, ya como para que puedan, digamos, seguir asimilando el contenido. Eso, chicos y chicas, como les digo, sorry nuevamente por la hora, porque bueno, ustedes ya saben, ya, bueno, estamos todos en la misma que de repente hay mucho que hacer, los horarios se complican. Ya, todavía estamos en pandemia, esta cuestión parece que haya terminado, pero están subiendo los casos en el sur, entonces ya el mal tiempo buena cara no, pero no queda otro. Ya, así, ojalá que igual de aquí a fin de año la cosa pueda mejorar. Thank you for coming, have a great day, and see you someday. See you next week.
Chao, profe, cuídese.
Ya, gracias, que estén bien, chicos.